Question 49. Two of the sides of a triangular garden have lengths of 100 feet and 80 feet, respectively. The angle formed by these two sides measures 60 degrees. Which of the following is closest to the length in feet of the third side of the garden? And it says, note, the law of cosine states. So you have to use the law of cosines. I'll explain what that is right now if you don't know what that is. So the law of cosines is a way that if you have a non-right triangle, you can find some of the angles and sides by using this relationship I'm about to show you. So let's say we have a side length here, lowercase c, a side length here, lowercase b, and a side length here, lowercase a. And to keep it simple, let's just call the angle across from c. So if this is length c, the angle across from it's down here. Let's call that capital C. So sometimes you can write the angle on the inside, or you can write it as the vertex. It's the same thing. And then in a similar fashion, we'll name this A, capital A, for that angle, and this is capital B for that angle. So what does this formula actually say? Well, basically it says if you take this side here, which is C, and you do all this, you can calculate the angle C across from it and vice versa. If I had the angle here and I have these two sides, I can find the length of this side across from it. So it'll become more clear in a second when I write the formula out and show you the connection between the formula and this description that I gave. So this is lowercase c here, c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine of capital C, because that is an angle. Now, how do we remember this with this figure I just drew for you? Well, in the equation, you can see that the side length C is on the opposite. It's literally on the opposite side of the equation. This is on the opposite side of the equation from the angle C. Well, look at the diagram that I drew, or the picture I drew. This is literally on the opposite side from the angle C, just like it is in the formula. So in the formula, lowercase c, the side length is opposite in the equation from the angle capital C, just like in the diagram that I drew, or the picture I drew. So it doesn't have to be C. I mean, this could really be A and then capital A, and you would just replace the A's here with C. It doesn't matter, but by convention, this is kind of the formula they give you, okay? So all you need to do now is just plug in your information that they're giving you. So if we're looking, let's say we're looking for this, and we're given this angle C to be 60, and we're given two other side lengths. It doesn't matter which one is A and which one is B, and you can see because A and B are both squared added together, and then they're both multiplied. So it doesn't matter which one's A, which one's B. Just pick one and go with it. So I'm going to call A 100. I'm going to call B 80. And I'm going to plug it into the equation and solve. So now I have C squared is equal to A squared, which is 100 squared, plus B squared, which is 80 squared, minus 2 times 100 times 80 times the cosine of 60. So be careful when you use this in your calculator. I would first make sure that you're in degrees and not in radians. And if you're trying to punch all this into your calculator at one time, you might run into some trouble because you're not using the right number of parentheses or something. So I would probably do this part first. And I would probably do this part second. And then I would add those two answers together just to make it easier on yourself. So let's do that. So let's do the part in yellow first. So 2 times 100 times 80 times the cosine of 60 gives me 8,000. So this is like minus 8,000. And then I'm going to do the part in blue now. So that is just 100 squared plus 80 squared. And that is 16,400. And now I'm going to subtract those two. So minus 8,000. And that gives me 84,000. And then to solve for C, we just need to square root both sides. So I get about 91.65. And that's okay. That is not a nice number. It's not a solid, not a whole number. It's a estimation, because the problem is saying which of the following is closest to the length. So they want us to approximate. So 91.65 here is closest to 92. So that is our answer.